let's look ahead to the Oscars because the Academy has announced some significant changes, really some historic changes, to encourage diversity in its top nominees. Michael Serapio is here with the details of the changes to the Best Picture category, Michael.
Changes here, Heather, really in response to the criticisms that we heard over the last couple of years that the Oscars was not representing enough people in its nominations, in particular with Best Picture. You'll remember the Oscars So White movement, and that was back in 2015, 2016, started by activist April Reign, and it called out the exclusion of people of color in the 2015-16 list of nominees, and even before and after, despite the fact that there are many artists and creators from Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities who do work in the industry. So in response, the Academy did promise change, and this new set of criteria is a part of that promise. So by 2025, any film that will be considered for the Best Picture award will have to meet 2 of the 4 criteria. They include diversity in on-screen representation, themes and narratives, diversity in creative leadership and project team, industry access and opportunities, and lastly, diversity in audience development, which broadly means that 2 of those 4 areas must employ people that include women, racial and ethnic groups, members of the LGBTQ community, and people with disabilities. The Academy is saying that they believe that these inclusion standards will be a catalyst for long-lasting, essential change in our industry. Now, since being called out by Oscars So White, there have already been some changes. For example, take a look at some of the films that have been featured in the last couple of years. The 2020 Best Picture, for example, went to the South Korean film Parasite. In fact, it won multiple awards. And you'll remember that in 2019, the year prior, Black Panther not only became the first comic book movie to be nominated for Best Picture, but also big budget proof that a movie led by a Black actor, a Black ensemble, and about a Black superhero could be a huge box office success. But really, those couple of years had the exception to Oscar history, not the rule. So these changes are hoping to essentially move forward inclusion when it comes to Hollywood.
Laudable goals, obviously, Michael, but some might question if that's the overarching aim, why just one category?
Well, important to note the category that they're actually choosing here, because the Academy says by choosing the Best Picture category with which to apply this criteria, because Best Picture is the big enchilada here, it does have a trickle-down effect. So that is their argument, that the diversity and the inclusion will trickle down to the other categories. And also consider that ever since Oscars So White, the Academy has actually made moves to increase diversity within its ranks. They say by 2020, they have already, the Academy claims, doubled the number of women who are voting members of the Academy, also doubled the number of people from racialized communities who are voting members. So with all of that, they're hoping that inclusion will be throughout the awards night and throughout all the categories, and more than just Best Picture.
Michael, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Michael Serapio looking ahead to that.